let's go do the Alpha Warrior. Alpha Warrior, indeed. All right, we'll get there in the end. Let's start in the beginning. I took, as you can see, very straightforward build here. Just take all the passives, and then go into Alpha Warrior with a domain. So we have our massive cleave in here, which is a two-part combo. Combo. It just hits a guy and then you start spinning. Fun stuff. Passive node. A lot of strength. Another passive node. A lot of strength. Same for these two. Big whopping nodes of strength and all kinds of good stuff. And then here we have a demoralizing shout. It's just a bit of a debuff. Pretty okay. We have the vicious stomp over here. Two different paths to take when you use this. Either you suppress your enemies or you apply a bleed. There's a lot of extra text here. Same for the other one. It says we automatically crit when we have a point of dominance. We'll get there in a little bit. We have here the fast counter attack. So when we retaliate, we also recover a little bit of stamina. So we get to retaliate quicker again or sprint more. Whichever way you like it. And then we have Dominator up here. Whenever we crit with a basic attack, we get a point of dominance, which are the pips that the Alpha Warrior uses. Leap power, amazing gap closer, 16 meters, and it's W's. So you get to jump quite far. Awesome. Then we have the Alpha Warrior itself here. We are a melee damage guy. We get some attack power, we get some health, great axe and great mace. You always want to use a mace because that is crushing damage and our ult is crushing damage, so that works together. The leap adds a point of dominance and it slows the targets. Rolling pain, that's the spinny thingy. We can hit more targets and it reduces an enemy's anti-crit. And Neckbreaker deals increased damage, reduced cost, and will always crit when we have some pips. Neckbreaker is arguably the strongest hitting ability in the game. Then we have the Mighty Warrior in here, a special Alpha Warrior skill, an increases damage bonus, heals a bit, adds some dominance, and we gain extra rage when we hit. Then we got the Alpha Warrior passive here. Whenever we spend a point of dominance, we get 5% increased critical strike chance. For 15 seconds, it may stack up to 10 times. That is pretty awesome. Then this big cluster here, crit strike, crit damage, some penetrations, etc. And we've taken the War domain. Taken War for the top thumper here. So whenever we get knocked down, stunned, blinded, or suppressed, we recover a little bit of health, and it adds resolve whenever we are CC'd. The resolve means that the next CC that hits us will have less of an effect. Because we have the retaliate in here, we get to retaliate easier, and combine that with this, we will just hit the diminishing returns a lot quicker, which means CC just lasts a lot shorter on us. Second major, this is the whole reason why I wanted to go into War, is because of the Hellraiser here. The pin cushion is alright, piercing immune barrier for when you engage, not bad. But the kneeling haystack is the big thing here. For 12 seconds, it increases my piercing resist. It's kind of whatever, but the important thing is that enemies around me take 15% increased damage. Because we have such good mobility with our leap, it's easy to get into the back line, pop this bad boy, and then everything around us is taking increased damage, which is good for us and good for the team, right? We have a speedy retaliate in here because we are melee after all. So when we use this retaliate, we get a 30% increased movement speed buff. So we can chase our targets down a little bit better. And we have Spirit Whip in here because our basic attack is very important with the Alpha Warrior passive. Sorry, not the Alpha Warrior passive, with the Dominator passive that generates pips for us when we crit with our basic attack. So Spirit Whip makes our basic attack hit 3 targets, so we get 3 times the amount of pips. I just maxed strength and put everything else into constitution. You could go with int, to boost up your crit damage, but I feel like when you're melee, you kind of want to get that buffer of health on you, so we went this way. You can still get a lot of crit damage from like god buffs and from gear and all of that, but it's a little bit up to you. I decided to go with a tankier route. Alright, we also have some racial abilities in here. We got a bull rush. We charge forward, and when it ends, it knocks down things around us. And we have the bloodthirst in here. It recovers half of all the lost health for 8 seconds, and then when it ends, I take the damage again over 8 seconds. But it is a bit of a buffer to use to make it easier for your healers to keep you up. Alright, that's kind of how it looks like. The Speedy Retaliate is in here, and then obviously the biggest part of the Alpha Warrior is the Neck Breaker itself. It does crushing damage to 5 targets in the area. You could also use it to cleanse CCs and everything. Gives a damage reduction buff as well, like all the other ults, except this one deals a lot of damage. So that is pretty nice. Alright, the way we play this this little guy over here, let's get a little bit of distance here, is on the engage. You can use your Pincushion first. You could use your Mighty Warrior first, just buff yourself up. So we can do 7 and 8, become big strong guy. We're a bit immune to pierce, and then we get to just jump in enemy team, and we can also keep running at them with our other racial, and that knocked that guy down. Kind of whiffed the jump there. I was too slow in turning the camera, but you know, I'll show it again later. So we have some good engages, right? We can run at things and we can jump at things. 16-meter range, so let's do that properly this time. We jump in there and then we jump in there. Like very mobile guy. And they also generate some pips when you leap, and it slows people, make it easier to hit them. So you can see the Spirit Whip here is just chaining through with my auto attack. Alright, his number 3 ability is a Stomp and a Disarming Shout, which suppresses the enemies. Alternatively, it puts a bleed on them. We'll wait for the cooldowns to come back there. Number 4 is just a Scream that debuffs. That is the Demoralizing Shout. It slows them and debuffs their attack power. And number 5 is our Spin to Win. First hit and then second hit is yeah, just spinning and winning. If you're in the middle of things, this is it is pretty nice, right? It's auto critting because we have Dominator stacks, and it is also reduces enemies anti-crit, so that is good stuff. And obviously the biggest thing here is our ultimate. When you see somebody jumping up like this, you better get out, because these neck breakers of Alpha Warriors at least hurt, and they hurt a lot, I tell you. Yeah, you can see the Alpha Dominance on the side here. When we spend our pips, we get increased crit chance. So let's spend some pips here. Let's do some more, and then it stacks up to 6 times, which gives us a lot of extra crit strike, right? We are like 47%. And then our Spirit Whip, every time it crits, you can see our pips go up super fast. Like, you don't want to be auto attacking too much. You want to be using abilities, but when you get your crit buff up and stacked, you kind of want to get in a couple of auto attacks to get all your pips back. Like, you don't need a full stack of pips, it doesn't really matter, but you want enough to make sure that you can always use them on your abilities. So this one auto crits. Now we have the bleed in here, and then also your Whirling Pain just auto crits on Dominator use, and obviously the ult. Big damage of the ult. Alright, what else do we have in here? We have the Bloodthirst and the Kneeling Haystack. Bloodthirst is looking something like that. Doesn't really do anything if I don't take any damage, right? So the big important thing though is this one, the Kneeling Haystack. You can see it around me. So enemies around me now take 15% increased damage, as you can tell by the damage that the Neckbreaker is doing right now. It's 15 seconds of it, but it is so good when you get into a backline. There's a neckbreaker. Just deals so much damage. 15% on top of that, plus your team is doing more damage. It's just amazing. This guy, the way we build it, is very straightforward. Right, you jump into the battle. Maybe you debuff some things. Maybe you do a little bit of ultimate, and you spin around a little bit, and do some damage. Right. Our dodge gives us some movement speed to chase down targets. We got some self buffing. And our big damage increasing buff around us. And then we just whack some more things, debuff some things, whack some things, jump around a little bit, chase some targets down like a big angry guy. That is the Elf Warrior. Very straightforward, as most of the champions are, but very potent just because this ultimate is just such a strong spell.